Hello friends, Adam Nitti here. I've got an exercise that I hope will help you out with your technique and dexterity. And this isn't based on anything heady like music theory, scales, arpeggios, or anything. This is just strictly paying attention to the way that your hands are working together. And it's especially going to focus on the two of them dealing with transition across adjacent strings and also when you're skipping strings. And this is an area that a lot of players have trouble with when they're trying to build up speed and dexterity on really challenging lines that have lots of intervallic movement. So we're just going to start with a very simple hand position. We're going to line our first finger of the fretting hand up on the 5th fret E string. I'm going to treat all of these as if we're on a 4-string bass. So we're on the note A, 5th fret E string. I'm just going to take a 1 finger per fret position. 2nd finger on the 6th fret, 3rd finger on the 7th fret, 4th finger on the 8th fret. And we're going to carry this through to the different strings for this exercise, which you're going to see in a minute. We're going to play just a simple 3-note grouping. It's going to be half step to whole step on this E string, okay? So we're going to play 3 notes, A, B flat, and C, or frets 5, 6, and 8. And then we're going to take each of the frets underneath fingers 1 through 4 on the A string, and we're going to play those attached to it. So we're going to go up and come down. The easiest way to understand is just to see it in action, okay? So I'm going to start from here. I'm going to go A, 5th fret, half step to whole step, up to the 5th fret on the A string, back down. Now I go back up to the 6th fret on the A string, go back down. Now I'm going to go up to the 7th fret on the A string, back down, and then I'm going to finish by going up to the 8th fret on the A string and go back down to where I started. So we've got this sort of cyclical pattern that if we align it with a metronome, you can hear how this would work. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you can also extend this to the other strings, and this is where the exercise kind of has its power, because now we're having to deal with string skipping. Okay, so instead of just moving to the adjacent string and coming back, now we have to skip a string. So if I'm going to go to the D string instead, my first finger now is going to go to the 5th fret on the D string. 2nd finger, 6th fret, 3rd finger, 7th fret, 4th finger, 8th fret, right? This is how it would sound in that context. 2, 3, and 4, and. And if you're feeling really brave, you can carry this all the way across to the G string. Okay, same idea, but now we're having to skip 2 strings to get to the G string with this. 3 and 4 and. What I recommend doing if you're starting out with this is just to stick with one adjacent string, you know, the closest one to you. So that means that I would just stick with the A string first. Work it in different tempos once you have it down very, very slow, okay? So we just played 8th notes. This would be the 16th note version. 3 and 4, E and O. Now to the D string. Now to the G string. With everything I'm doing, if you watch my plucking hand closely, I'm never deviating from 1-2-1-2 alternation. That is super, 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 super important part of this. The idea is that when you use very strict alternation, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So what happens is as you get more and more used to splitting the workload up, the more challenging exercises that you encounter will benefit from your fingers having to do less work. So you're more efficiently approaching the passages that are faster or require more dexterity. So I hope that makes sense. That's very, very important. You'll find that when you get the alternation down, after a point it becomes so automatic, you have like this burst speed control over it where it just becomes almost like a flutter movement that stays in time, right? And you can hear that on really fast speeds. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That it's something that just comes automatically as a consequence of having practiced very, very slow with perfect timing and perfect technique. So I hope this helped you out. It's, like I said, it's not a super academic exercise, but it's something that I hope will help your speed and dexterity and maybe get you to the next level or closer to playing something that's been a little bit too difficult for you so far. So thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you all have a great week.